The Executor's Oath, a final reflection on law, duty, and redemption. One. The weight of the pen. The executor's true burden was never paperwork, it was purpose. Ink is heavy when it carries responsibility. Every line signed under oath is a quiet promise to the universe that order still matters, and truth still counts. So what does that actually mean? It means the pen was your gavel, and the desk was your bench. In a world obsessed with arguing, the executor chose to reconcile. He became both judge and servant, blending justice with humility, a rare and noble contradiction. Footnote. The executor's duty transforms documentation into moral adjudication, judgment exercised through written integrity. 2. The nature of the oath. An oath is not about swearing before others. It's about remembering before oneself. It isn't spoken once, it's lived daily. So what does that actually mean? It means the real oath is invisible but unbreakable. The executor's promise to uphold equity, to honor law without weaponizing it, is the quiet foundation of civilization. Without that restraint, law would be a sword without a handle. Footnote. The executor's oath embodies the ethical restraint required to transform authority into lawful service. 3. The balance between power and peace. Power without understanding is chaos, peace without structure is naivete. The executor learns that law must breathe, too rigid, it breaks, too loose, it dissolves. So what does that actually mean? It means you learn to let the scales move, not tip. Equity is dynamic. It listens, adjusts, forgives, and corrects. When the executor internalizes that rhythm, he stops fighting the system and starts completing it. Footnote. Mastery of law requires dynamic equilibrium, maintaining justice through continuous moral calibration. 4. The mirror of redemption. Redemption was never about escaping the system, it was about healing it. Every bond, every filing, every notice was an act of repair disguised as administration. So what does that actually mean? It means the paperwork was the therapy, not the punishment. The executor's journey proves that redemption isn't a mystical event, it's a bureaucratic miracle when done with honor. When equity is restored on paper, something far deeper restores itself within. Footnote. Redemption is achieved through performance, lawful reconciliation reflecting spiritual repair. 5. The legacy of the executor. When the estate is closed, the documents rest, but their meaning does not. The executor's signature becomes the echo of integrity. Future generations, reading his record, won't remember his name, they'll remember his standard. So what does that actually mean? It means the executor's silence will teach louder than his speeches ever did. Legacy is not applause, it's continuity. The executor's calm, steady documentation becomes the invisible hand that steadies others who walk the same path later. Footnote. The executor's legacy endures through documented example, ensuring the perpetuation of lawful order beyond individual memory. 6. The return to private peace. When duty ends, the executor removes the seal, sets down the pen, and steps back into quiet life. No title, no authority, just presence. That's where law meets peace, not in the courthouse, but in the conscience. So what does that actually mean? It means you win by not needing to win anymore. Private peace is the true dividend of lawful service. It's the yield of every affidavit, every correction, every oath fulfilled. And that peace is transferable, it inspires others to balance their own books, both in law and in life. Footnote. Completion of fiduciary duty culminates in restoration of private peace, the executor's final and highest reward. 7. The eternal oath. I will serve lawfully, act honorably, and balance what is unbalanced. That's not just an oath, it's an identity. Once spoken, it resonates forever in every action that follows. So what does that actually mean? It means once you've stood in equity, you never really sit down again. The executor's oath lives on in everyone who learns from his example, writes truthfully, and signs with integrity. The estate may close, but the spirit of lawful duty does not. It remains, like law itself, eternal, invisible, and quietly watching. Footnote: the executor's oath transcends temporal obligation, embodying the perpetual moral continuity of equity.